Yelizaveta Vasilievna is a beautiful elementary school teacher of an ordinary village school. Smart, beautiful, affectionate. What else can I add? Well, let's say she enjoys authority at school, goes to church every Sunday. Elizaveta Vasilievna's husband was 13 years older than his wife. They met by chance in the district center and immediately fell in love with each other. They fell in love without any tricks. It was surprising, since they were countrymen and lived almost side by side. A merry wedding took place with congratulations, laughter, and wishes. The young wife gave birth to a son a year later to her Vasily. The happy parents named the boy after his father. And so their family had two Vasilyas, two Vasilkes. This is how Elizaveta Vasilievna called her man. The young family lived with Elizaveta Vasilievna's parents. Her mother-in-law loved her. Lizaka never looked away from her. But the son-in-law, the old dog, did not like his favorite mother-in-law at all. With time, Vasily began to quarrel openly with his mother-in-law. He forbade the woman to interfere in their family affairs and not to cause a scandal. Mother-in-law, as if she realized that the son-in-law may as well star in the eye, he openly said about it, and go to work. She worked in a district hospital with a lantern, so it does not attract her. And the young family decided to build their own house, to be their own masters. Vasily soon went abroad, worked in construction. He worked hard. Don't think that they're abroad. Money is lying on the sidewalk, and our boys and girls are waiting for them. Yelos, Aveta Vasilievna received remittances from her husband every month and hired workers to build her own house. And the house grew. Vasily came home once in 6 months, and after a while flew back. They were happy that everything was working out. The house was growing like dough on yeast. Although money was that yeast, I guess my wife was always faithful to her husband. Even though there were all sorts of men hanging around her, she never went on any adventures. Never even in her drunkenest head had the idea of making her husband horny. She remembered the words Vasilko had said to her mother. Well, the ones about the eye and the stars. Do you remember? Soon the family moved into a new house to live and please each other. Joy in every sense of the word. Vasily was tired of living away from his family, his son growing up almost fatherless, his young wife sitting at home. And the man decided that he would soon go to his relatives, and he had 2 options for the rest of his life. To stay at home, find a job, and be close to his family, or to take his wife and son and go abroad. He was about to arrange with his acquaintances who were citizens of the country, where he had been working all this time, and they agreed to help with all the papers for the 3 of them. One day Vasily received a phone call from his son. The boy really wanted his father to buy him a toy. The boy looked into the camera of the phone so much that Vasily S.R. couldn't even find a reason to refuse his Vasia. The boy used headphones to listen to his father. It was already a habit for both of them, and it made it possible to talk, without the fear that someone nearby would hear. Yelizaveta Vasilievna came into the room just then. The woman was talking to someone on the phone, and it was this conversation that Vasily heard. Yes, I told you. My boy, I will come for a date on Saturday. Yes, I'll be there. Only you must understand that a woman may be a few minutes late. Yes, my love. No, I'm not going to have sex with you on the first date. Don't ask me to just a blowjob. That's up to you. Make sure you're prepared so I don't have to clean your dick from... Yes, I promise you I won't spit it out. And then poor Lisa saw on the screen of her cell phone, which belonged to her son, the image of her husband, who was looking at his petrified wife with anger. The woman was afraid to even breathe. She no longer answered her interlocutor's questions. Her phone just fell on the floor. Vasily was in time. He bought a plane ticket and was already home on Thursday. The man conducted explanatory work with his wife. It turned out that she made a young guy through the internet. Just Saturday, she was supposed to go on a first date with him. No, she did not have time to cheat on her Vasily. And it was very good. Good for her epilogue, Elizaveta Vasilyevna had to make up at work. The reason for the appearance of a large lantern under her eye. She told a story about a closet, the door of which was so inopportune to her face. Well, it happens to whom, even at home, need to be careful. Especially if the closet always promised to light the stars. For his beloved. Oh, also, that guy did come on a date with his friend. He came hoping, and with a certainty, that they would succeed in scamming poor Lisa out of the money her husband was sending home. But they never got their blowjob. With minor concussions or brains, huge lanterns, a couple of broken teeth and broken ribs. The boys ended up in the local hospital. They never understood why. They had been beaten up by some lunatic they'd never seen before. And yes, the family moved out of the country. They sold the newly built house. Vachili decided that it was not good for him to stay in his home country, because the police could come to him if anything happened. And his wife needed to see the paradise in which Vachili had lived and worked for the past few years.